Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the weekly reading for the sign of Pisces, alright? It's going to be for July 21st to the 28th. And we're going to get right into it. Subscribers and my regulars, you know what it is. We're going to look into the main relationship that's taking center stage in your life this week. Whether it's at work or at home or with a lover, a new lover, an old lover, a friendship. Whatever the main dynamic is this week, we're going to take a look at it. Cross watchers, all the videos are up. This is the last one, so you should have your videos up. And newbies, people who just arrived to this video today by happenstance, thank you so much for coming by, sticking around, taking a minute to look at this reading. I'm going to get right into it for you. All right, we've already been shuffling. I've already been shuffling the deck before I started filming, so I'm ready to get your two cards out. If something resonates with you, perhaps you'll be ready. I'm going to shuffle this one more time. I didn't like that cut. If something resonates with you, please like and subscribe and share. Help me grow my channel so I can provide more and more of these readings. All right, here we go, Pisces. Interesting, these. Pay attention to red flags. All right, this just came out for Aquarius, I believe, as well. And love yourself first. So that needed to come out, right? There was another card in there that I saw coming out that was really poking its head through. I believe it was this one, actually. Stay optimistic about your love life, right? All right, so let's get right into your reading. We're going to need your 7 cards before we know what this really means, what the full context of these cards are. But of course, pay attention to red flags means signs are cautioning you, right? There are signs out there that you need to pay attention to. And love yourself first is, of course, all about self-respect, right? Don't make yourself a victim. Don't allow yourself to be victimized or for you to come last, right? But again, we don't really know the context, and I really don't. I'm not one of these readers who want to like throw a dart in the dark. A dart in the dark, you know? Shoot an arrow into the dark is more appropriate of a statement, right? I want to know exactly what those cards mean for you. So we're going to see once we get your 7 cards out, Pisces. Shout out to my Pisces regulars. You know who you are. I love you so much. Interesting. This card came out at the bottom of the deck. 6 of Swords. Again, Journey to Harmony. Again. This card has come out for almost, I believe, for the last 3 readings in a row. Alright, so your card is 10 of Wands, coming to the end of a long journey, a long struggle. More like, right? Not necessarily a journey like the same journey that you get with 10 of Swords. This is more a struggle. A period of struggle. And now you're coming to the end of it. You're ready to lay down those burdens. 5 of Wands for you, Pisces. So there's a lot of squabbling and power struggle. 10 of Pentacles you have for your other person. And the Fool for the relationship. Interesting. Your person has Ace of Wands. So, okay. We'll get into that Ace of Wands energy. 9 of Wands is how they see you. And Queen of Swords is how they see the relationship. Bottom of the deck, we have Empress as well. So Empress is loving yourself, isn't it? Empress, she's the perfect nurturer. She knows the concept of loving herself first so that she can remain fully nurtured. 10 of Wands, right, talks about the end of a long struggle. And so these are the burdens and the baggage that we carry as part of a long struggle, right? And what happens is that when we're ready to come to the end of it, it's at that point that we're ready to lay down these kind of wands, right? Hang on a second, let me just get my, all right. When you're at the end of a struggle, when you've come to the end of kind of holding on to something. So for a little while, these wands served a purpose for this character, right? He was able to lean on it. In his mind, it was a form of support. But of course, it blinded him to taking the proper steps on his path. probably impeded his progress to a certain degree, right? But at least the progress was a little easier in his mind. Now he's realizing that he never can really get to where he wants to go because this baggage, right? These wands are always going to be impeding his progress, impeding his decision making. He can't see the path that's laid out before him properly because he's looking through, right, through these wands. And so coming to the end of this road is this understanding of that you just simply have to lay it down. If you want to move forward properly with any real advance, you have to lay it down. And so this is the end of a struggle and the beginning of a new life, right? A freer life. With Ten of Swords, we find the end of the struggle turning into sort of a new evolved ego form, right? But here it's more like just going into this next segment of your life free from a lot of burdens, hang-ups, and baggage that's really been weighing you down. Five of Pentacles is how you're presenting, Pisces. So most recently, there's been a lot of arguing, bickering. This could be at work. This could be at home with your lover. This could be with your family. Let me turn this. I think it's just too bright. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, a lot of arguing, a lot of one-man upmanship, right? Fives are just the power struggle card. So Five of Wands is that it's just like a petty power struggle. You can see that those are young men fighting with each other with these wands. You know, they're battering each other. They're not really drawing blood or anything. I mean, sometimes this can indicate physical abuse, but I don't think in this case. It's really just like you're having a lot of struggles with people, and they're bringing this kind of power struggle to you. Right, and you're done with it. You're at the end of this road. You're at the end of this stage, right? So you're kind of like feeling really like, ugh. I want to say that a lot of this is making you now, whereas before you may have been more inclined to engage in this activity. Now when you come across this, it just makes you feel like you want to get into your Empress and love yourself. Pull away. Six of Swords had to pop out because Six of Swords is a conscientious decision to move towards harmony and away from conflict and strife. Right? And it's like when you choose to do that conscientiously, it's like every step you make, every choice you make is geared toward that. And so certainly right now, most recently, it's like this is happening and you're like not there for it at all. You feel like you're right caught in the middle. Your person is presenting with Ace of Wands, so they're feeling themselves like they feel right now like full of creativity and ambition. I want to say they're very horny. This is the first thing that came to mind. Ace of Wands doesn't always indicate that, but it is the great phallus, right? And so oftentimes when it comes out, sometimes it can indicate this. I wonder if this person isn't really... I just got the feeling intuitively that this person you're dealing with here is just very over-sexualized. They're being over-physical with you, and it may be the reason why there's some bickering, because you're not so much into it, right? And this person demands a lot of kind of attention, I believe. And so you're like, no, I'm not so much ready to love you and your Ace of Wands. I'm more into like loving myself, because right now I'm dealing with all of this arguing, either with you or the people at work. It's like everywhere I turn, somebody's arguing with me, and then I come home and you just want this, right? It's quite interesting, but that's the dynamic I'm feeling. Let me know if that resonates with you. It's out there, Pisces. That's a quite specific dynamic between somebody out there who was meant to see this reading. But of course, you see 10 of Pentacles with your person, so it's interesting that there has been a certain amount of abundance with them, right? They've kind of kept you in the lap of luxury to a certain degree. It's been quite happy. There's been a lot of abundance, right? I'm not necessarily sure that you're happy anymore with it, and so I wonder, because it's another 10. You have 10 and 10, so it's a lot of conclusions, a lot of endings to stages right now for you, Pisces. And I wonder if this isn't kind of one of these relationships that was really good for a long time, but now you're done with it. So it's like, inevitably at the end of most relationships, there is some bickering and strife, right? But for the most part, this relationship was very positive and you felt quite good, but I think you've just literally outgrown it. I think you've just literally outgrown this relationship. And so it's a case of one of these situations where, yeah, it wasn't anything that was actually wrong. It just wasn't you anymore. And so these last stages, I think, have been causing some bickering. Your person is coming onto you very hard and very strong. I think they're trying to use that to kind of keep you, right? To keep you in. This may be an old modus operandi for them. This might be their MO. This might be the MO they used to get you in the first place, but now it doesn't quite work anymore. Right? It doesn't quite work anymore. It's interesting. And so now your person has a 9 of Wands for you, and so they see that you have been through quite a long struggle, right? They see you looking back and kind of, they see that you're looking back and kind of reassessing everything you've been through with that kind of feeling of, you know, reassessing whether or not you want to be with them either. They're feeling it. They see it. I think they've seen the growth that you've come to. I think they've seen that you're very close to your 10 of Wands. And I think they see you from the outside in. This is so interesting that this is the overall energy, because from the outside in, they see you as taking this little break and just reassessing. And in their heart of hearts, they're realizing that, you know, it's one of those scenarios. I don't know if you've ever been there, but I've been there where you're with somebody and it was in a good relationship. It was a loving relationship, but it almost kind of just fizzled out. Because you outgrew each other, or one of you outgrew the other, right? And the other felt it. The other person felt it. They knew that you were outgrowing them, but they cared for you still. And so it wasn't so much that there was a lot of animosity when you break up, but it's more just a case that they still care for you so much. And so even though their heart is breaking because you've outgrown them, they kind of are also seeing you, you know, seeing the need for you to move on. And it's quite, I want to say it's quite endearing and sweet, you know, and this is a testament to how good this relationship was. But it is certainly time to reevaluate it. I just think that it's part of an old struggle, this relationship. Even though it was good for you for a time, it's part of the struggle. And when you finally lay down these wands, right, and the struggle is finally over, this 10 is finally calm, I think you're going to be absolutely ready for a new life, because you have Fool representing as your card for relationship. So you're ready for something absolutely new. And I think the new relationship that you're ready for is your own. It's a relationship with you. I think you're ready to be on your own, to be on the journey of life on your own for a little while, maybe unattached. Could be that you've been with this person for quite a long time, you know, and over the years you guys really held each other up and you loved each other and you did everything, you know, but now but they still love you, right? But you had so much growing to do, Pisces, right? You had so much growing to do, and you did that growing, right? You did that growing with them, and I think that you can come out of this remaining friends, remaining close, right? Because I have this, intuitively, I have this feeling that this person just cares for you so deeply, and whereas in some scenarios the person might get very kind of like pissy and irritated, and it just ends up ending on this really horrible note. I think the fact that this person cares for you so much will, you know, the fact that they have so much affection for you, and that you guys had such a good relationship, such an honest relationship, such a close relationship, even though that now the romance has kind of fizzled out a little bit, that they are still kind of in love with you, and they still only want the best for you. And their worst nightmare will be that if this breaks up in such a way that you guys would never speak again. And so this is kind of one of these life lessons where you're going through a scenario where you're learning how to love in different capacities, and you're learning that love doesn't always have to be restricted by a certain relationship form. It can evolve. Part of that evolving is growing pains. It is bickering. It is not, you know, being on the same page. It is pain, right? It can be a sense of loss, a sense of hurt, right? But you need to face that head on. That sense of hurt needs to be faced head on. It's part of the way that we get closer to our spiritual higher consciousness. It's part of the journey. Denying yourself that is denying yourself necessary steps to get there. You just, you know, it just won't, you won't get there in the same way that you imagine, right? So you do have to face these pains head on. But I think that this relationship has a real, or this kind of like resolution to this relationship has the possibility for being a really kind of kind resolution. And it's a really good lesson in learning how things like this can be kind, as long as you know when to pull the plug. And that's what we're talking about with paying attention to red flags. Love yourself first and pay attention to red flags, because loving yourself meaning moving forward with life. Loving yourself like the fool loves itself, or himself or herself, and moves on with life when the time is right. But pay attention to red flags, because also if you don't handle this correctly, this could get quite toxic. This could get more painful than it needs to be, right? And so your person is representing, while you're representing as the fool in terms of how you see a relationship, they're representing, they're seeing the Queen of Swords as far as they see the relationship, right? And so you see the relationship as a means to following your path independently, and they see in this relationship that there's a need for the Queen of Swords, which is full honesty, laying yourselves bare, being honest with each other. It could be that you may not have been completely honest with them about how you've been feeling. They're requiring that. They know that this is necessary. They also see this relationship as having a Queen of Swords energy to it, so they've always I think this is to say that one of the things that they've always valued about their relationship with you, Pisces, is the honesty. Is the fact that you guys have always been honest to each other. You've never been false with each other. You've never been fake or dishonest. You've been really truthful with each other. And I think you need to remember that now. Don't abandon that portion of your relationship just because things seem to be in flux or changing. Now is the time for you guys to really dig deep and draw on the strengths of all of the attributes of your relationship that were good, the good things about your relationship. This is a time when those are the things you need to draw on. And if communication and being honest with each other was always a good and positive thing in your relationship, then it should also be a good and positive thing in the changing of your relationship, in the evolution of it, in the separation of it possibly, or the ending of it. Right, so this is why this reading has come forth, right? To let you know that this is what's necessary here for you to kind of save a little bit of the deeper levels that you've achieved with this person, right? You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You've had a long, loving relationship with this person, and simply because you guys are no longer right for each other now, it would be a pity to completely throw away this entire dynamic, everything that you guys have worked for. And so, yeah. Rely on the things about your relationship that always made it stronger before. Use those attributes. If those attributes were being honest, or if those attributes were humor, or whatever way it was in your relationship that you were able to sustain it, to make it more stable, to deal with the various problems while you're together. Oftentimes people then abandon those type of those attributes of their relationship when they're going through a breakup, because they feel like that all belongs to when we were together. Now we're not together. I don't have to talk to you anymore. I don't have to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And it's like when you're breaking up or your relationship is changing or evolving into a different kind of form, that is precisely when you're supposed to use those attributes that you've established with your partner over years. That's when you're supposed to use that more than ever, because you know that they have a track record of easing the communication, getting you both to come together and agree on things and see things from each other's point of view. And so why would you throw that away at a time when you need it the most? All right, Pisces, let's pull out your 3 cards, and then we'll call it a wrap for this weekly. All right, guys, we've got the High Priestess. There's your intuition coming in, necessary. Queen of Wands, wow. And you have Page of Cups. You're the Queen of Wands, right? And they're the Page of Cups. And even though you are water energy, you are presenting a Queen of Wands because you are determined right now. You're very determined right now, and along with that intuition that's hitting you, that's telling you this is the right thing, even though your head might be trying to tell you something different. But you've got Queen of Wands and High Priestess energy working in concert. So not only do you have full inner wisdom and reliance and self-confidence, but you have the determination, that Aries energy of Queen of Wands, that is a go-getter, willing to go into unknown territory. And so this is very forward-moving energy in terms of following your inner voice and moving forward, right? Queen of Wands is all about self-realization, transformation. And Page of Cups is your person. And I think, like I say, Page of Cups is quite inventive. And inventiveness is the name of the card here for this deck, right? But Page of Cups here, I feel like is presenting like, yeah, they're hurt. You can see it even in the imagery. They're feeling kind of sentimental and all of that. But like I said, they would rather be in your life than not be in your life. And so this is interesting because Page of Cups will find a way to keep the bond going. And I think that's the energy your person is bringing to the table. They're going to find a way to keep this bond going in some shape or form. Whether that's even just remaining friends, agreeing to disagree. They may give you your space and all that. They may agree that it's time for you guys to go your separate ways, but they will just simply refuse to give up on the friendship, on the connection. And I don't think that you should. I don't think that you should, because I don't think that there's no indication here that this was such a horrible relationship with this individual. It was just that you had a lot of growing to do. And so here are your 3 cards to wrap it up, Pisces, all right? I got the High Priestess, Queen of Wands, Page of Cups, all coming in for you. Beautiful, beautiful energy. All right, have that conversation. Like I said, draw on the things that worked for you guys during the height of your relationship, and use those same sort of tactics of communication and coming together to help you guys through this period of change. All right, if this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share. Help me continue to grow my channel. This is what I do full time now, guys, so all the support you give me is much appreciated. And so for right now, I'm just going to say I love you so much. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week, Pisces. Bye-bye.